Welcome to the Ironman Insider, presented by Maurten, the podcast that takes you deep inside the minds, training, and the triumphs of the world's best Ironman athletes. I'm your host, Matt Lieto, and today we have a very special guest that needs no introduction in the triathlon world, but I'm going to give him one anyways. It's Patrick Lange, three-time Ironman world champion, course record holder, and one of the most respected and relentless athletes in the sport, known for his explosive run splits and his unshakable mental toughness. And he's defined what's possible in Kona and inspired athletes across the globe with his passion and commitment to the craft. What's going on, Patrick?
Yeah, thanks for having me. What's going on? A little bit injured going on, so trying to get this under control. And summer is here in Europe. It's pretty hot out there, so I'm enjoying swimming and riding bikes and waiting for getting back to running. So it's a little bit of a ditch. I'm not really used to injury that much, to be honest. It's kind of a new situation for me. So it's funny with almost 38 years and still learning to new things.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're someone that I don't really ever remember mentioning coming off of an injury or had to take this time off for an injury. Mm-hmm. Can you tell us a little bit what you're dealing with?
I first of all feel blessed to be not injured for so many years. I think I had one big injury in my shoulder when I crashed my bike, so I couldn't race in St. George. I think it was 21. But other than that, everything was smooth. And at the moment I'm dealing with a inflammation at the adductor longus, like in the tendon. And I think it comes from a couple of reasons. So I think after the win in Kona, I had a lot of commitments to sponsors, interviews, traveling. So the winter was fully packed with amazing opportunities, meeting great people, traveling, and having a little bit of a other than just training and focus and preparing for races, just the other world. And of course you have to do it. I want to be a good representative of the sport. I want to be a good ambassador for the sport. I want to inspire people to get into the sport. So especially if you have the chance to spread the message across the board of our the border of our sport, I take the opportunity and do it. But it was a tough ride. So I think I was lacking a little bit of this easy getting into a training rhythm, base mileage thing. So we kind of kickstarted in January, and we went from the get-go. We kind of went all in, intensity wise, training wise, and it felt great, to be honest. But then second thing was, I think I did a mistake in choosing Oceanside as my first race. Right. Oceanside is a great race, great city, really good vibe. I love it, but it's not my race. It's just too cold. It's simple as that. Like the water is super cold, and the air temperature is also it is just not my race. And so I think this was a little bit, everything came a little bit too early as well. And I tried to focus on Ironman Texas. And one day before I flew to California, I had one session where we kind of were not sure, we're going running outside or inside, and I decided to go on the treadmill, and I overdid it. And I think this was just the drop that was just too much, and especially because it was high intensity session on the treadmill, and I think because the treadmill has so much power, if I would have had to do the run outside, I think I wouldn't be able to run the speeds because my
right. You got to do it yourself. The treadmill kind of does it for you too.
Exactly. So, and I think the treadmill like overextended my leg a couple of times, and it was just too much. So yeah, that's the long explanation for what happened, and right now it's getting better every day, which is good. So I'm working with my physio here every day. To get back on the road, and I think it's still a long season ahead, and I'm motivated to get racing as soon as possible.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, and we are as well, and it's I love that you said that you have the clear awareness and acknowledgement that you've been blessed till now. Right. And it's, I almost feel bad for you because you're at this point of your career. You obviously like just set the course record, won another world championship, and you've got to learn how to deal with what that feels like to not be allowed to do what you want to do to move forward. And am I wrong in remembering that you have a history as a PT or something in that range? And has that helped you in the being healthy to this point?
That's true. Yeah. I studied physical therapist and also worked 2 years in the job before I decided to go all in for Ironman racing. So I kind of turned pro really, really late. I think I was 29 or 30 when I first raced Ironman Texas. And I remember that this was the year where I said, okay, it's a make or break year. It's a nice job, so it would be cool to work as a physio, but I definitely prefer the pro triathlete side. So but I think the knowledge of the job is one key aspect for me that I was able to had the career that I had, knowing just how to just by feel and to have an idea of what to do, where to put the trigger, the black roll trigger ball, to release the right muscles. So I think it definitely benefited me.
Yeah, and I think you probably have a knowledge from that experience, and especially working in that field for a little bit, as someone that is used, like has had experience with injuries. Like for me, I always tell people, like, you got to kind of, when you feel the thing, you think about, man, in like 3 months, am I telling the story that like, man, my like Achilles was fine, and then it was a little bit sore, and then I kept running on it, and like now I'm injured, right? And like you as someone with that knowledge can be like, wait, I feel that thing, I'm going to stop, I'm going to do the trigger point, and then I don't have to tell the story about how I got injured.
Exactly. So I think it's a good combination of both is important to have a feeling for what's going on and where to push through, because obviously we always have niggles, that as a pro you train 35, 40 hours a week sometimes, and of course you wake up, your back hurts and your hip hurts, but it's really important to like identify the good pain from the bad pain.
Right. Totally. Yeah. Well, bummed to see you have that experience, but excited
part of
to know
game.
that you've got the knowledge and the people around you to get you back when the meat of the season hits. And you mentioned kind of that first race that you did as a full-time pro, and I'm sure you don't know this, but I was on the ground there at that race and was like, who is this? Who's this little German guy? He's running pretty fast. And I think it was maybe one of the first races that Joe Skipper actually was kind of at the front as well. Like there was these two new names that we hadn't really heard of, and you clocked off a 2:40:01 in your first marathon. Like how special of a day was that first one for you?
Super special. Super special. So going into that race, I was super nervous, mega excited. But deep down, I really felt that I'm made for Ironman racing. Like it was a feeling that I just had. I always, when I started triathlon, I always wanted to go to Kona, and deep down inside of me, I thought I really, if there's one thing in the world, it's winning Kona. And so it was kind of almost a relief of going there and finally going on the course and trying this Ironman thing. And I had a really experienced coach on my side. So I was working with Faris Sultan for a couple of months back then. And he was kind of a really good point of guidance. He Faris, he's a black and white guy. It's like there's nothing in between. He's just it's good or it's bad, but he's really clearly structured, and I think that's what I really needed in my first year as a pro. And I remember going into that race, and he said to me, from kilometer 30 onwards, the gates to hell will open and it will be... So, and I was running along and I felt great. At kilometer 30, I was in the lead and I was enjoying it so much. And I was waiting for the hells to for the gates of hell to open, it's just it's been great, and ever since I love to come back also to the Woodlands and train there. Also last year been there and won the race. We all know the story, right? And it definitely hurt to see this year's race, to sit that one out and watch the guys race.
Yeah, what does FOMO look like for Patrick Lange? Like, is it shoulda, coulda, woulda, or is it just like you want to be there doing the thing?
I want to be there. This is the definitely, and I kind of want to tune out and just actually don't want to hear anything about the race, but then guys make me go onto the show, and I had to watch the race, and I also wanted to give a good commentary. So of course I had to watch the race a little bit, but then I enjoyed it because I think it's also great to see other athletes doing great stuff, and I just felt it just feeded my motivation. Watching Christian running along and taking out in 2:30 pace, it's like I was like, okay, let's see if he gets it, and oh wow, I would love to be on his side right now and just totally smash it with him. It's like, that was definitely FOMO, and it was just a little bit. It was definitely feeding the motivation to go back. That's good.
That's good.
Do it better.
That's awesome to hear. And I'm not a shoulda, coulda, woulda person either, because that's not how sports work. But it would have been awesome to watch you guys battle it out on the run. I'll just say that.
It would be interesting to. So because everyone now is like, it would be so your race dynamic and like big swim group, and in the bike nobody really could separate, blah, blah, blah. And I don't think the race would unfold like that. It would be interesting to see if the race dynamic changed because I think obviously the bike ride is different. Like if someone is in the pack who can run a little bit fast, I think it changes the dynamics. So I think it would be interesting, maybe a little bit more interesting. I don't know.
I think so too, and I'm excited whenever it happens. Maybe it's going to be Nice this year to watch you guys have some shoulder to shoulder time.
I mean, in Frankfurt should be the first chance.
Right.
Yeah, Frankfurt.
Yeah,
home race.
And what's your fastest run at Frankfurt?
Oh, whoa! In Frankfurt, I don't know.
But your fastest run overall is what, 2:30, right?
Yeah, it's 2:30, 36,
31.
31. Yeah, in Ironman Israel, and I ran 2:30:27, I think, at Challenge Road.
Yeah.
So I have two times the 2:30, which is this 27 seconds day.
So that does matter to you a little bit.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean,
I love it.
Of course. I mean, wouldn't it, like, it's 27 seconds. It's not even a second per kilometer. It's like,
so when you think when other athletes are like, oh, it's not about the time, it's about the win, they're kind of full of it. They're like, no, man, going under 2:30 is going under 2:30.
You have to separate from breaking a barrier like a 2:30, or go talking about a total time. And if you ask me pre-Kona, if the time matters, no. It's like, of course, it's nice to have a course record, but the reality is the only thing that matters is the win. And so I have the same mentality there. So win comes first, and no matter the times. But of course, it's cool to kind of break barriers and just be ahead of the curve and like pushing boundaries. Of course, you have to make to get a grip on development. Of course, we take times, and especially I think in the run, you can compare run times much better than swim or bike times. So
yeah, I'd say that's accurate. And I mean, to me, I got a couple things I want to talk about because it is funny. You're totally right. But then after the race, you're like looking at splits and you're like, oh, so close, right?
Yeah.
And I don't have all the data in front of me, but you seem to be the person, obviously, with those 2 times and then a few times more under 2:35, like the person knocking at the door. And for me, the most impressive one is your Nice run split after that bike ride, like 2:32 mid, I believe. Who do you think you're racing? I know you're just racing the race. You want to win whatever race you're in, but who do you think is also on the table as far as going under 2:30 besides you?
Christian, definitely.
Yeah.
He has clocked a 2:32:29 in Ironman Frankfurt, which is fast. On that course, it's fast. But after him, we have quite a lot good runners, of course, but I think it takes a special athlete to kind of crack this 2:30 time. Matt Hansen, great runner, but I don't think still like this little edge maybe is missing. And other than who do you think who's capable of running?
I mean, that's probably it. And to me, what's funny in the change of like the last decade is you used to have like uber runners, and the fastest runners were the ones that would like run through the field. Like at one time, it was like Pete Jacobs. It was the guy who ran through the field in Kona. But now it's not that. It's the guys winning the world championship and the guys winning the race that are in the front swim group, in the front bike group, and then running 2:30s. What do you think has made that change? Any way to quantify that, you think?
You cannot afford a weakness. I think that the sport has developed rapidly. And I think my generation, we came in from other sports. I grew up being a mountain biker and a runner. Right. So I was mountain bike racing in summer and track and field and cross country racing in winter running. So and now we have this new generation. They're growing up triathletes and aiming to win Kona. And a lot of them don't want to go to the Olympic Games. They aim for Kona, which is amazing. But also you see they are super young. So they are in the early 20s, and guys like Sam Laidlow, they're able to win world championship races so young. So I think they are bringing speed, especially in the first 75% of the race. It's just the takeout speed in my 10 years of being a professional Ironman athlete increased rapidly. So it is the first 500 meters in the swim are just, it's like a sprint. It's the same speed as in a sprint triathlon. Sure. The group dynamics, especially also now with the Race Ranger makes racing so much fairer. But on the other hand, it's also it bunches up a little bit more, especially in the World Championship races, and you have this yo-yoing effect much more. So you have to be able to be much more, peaky. You have to have this top end speed, because if you're sitting in, say, 6, 7, 8 position, and the first guy rolls over the top of a little climb in Kona. I mean, Kona is not flat by any means. You know it, and you're actually braking if you're in tense position, because you don't want to go into the red zone. But the guy in front, he is pushing over the hill, and he's riding 50k an hour. So, and this effect,
the elastic.
And you have to. And if you look at my Kona data from last year, the normalized power and the average power, if I remember it from the top of my head, it was 20 watts difference. So it was super unrhythmic.
Normalized was higher.
Normalized was higher, 20 watts. And this was also a reason why I said in the towards the later stages of the bike race, I said, okay, guys, I dropped out of the group because I was just sick of going all out for a minute and then sitting upright for 30 seconds, and so I was I needed a steady pacing, and so that a little bit of experience paid dividends there.
No, it certainly did, and I think it's funny because I think you're right. The Race Ranger does make it more fair, but it can have these groups kind of develop for a period of time. But I think the explosions are bigger, right? Because there aren't the smart veterans like you that are like, you know what? I'm not going to wait till I get blown out of this group. I'm going to take myself out of this group when I realize it's too much. Yeah. And then obviously that showed on the run. Like you saw the explosions on the run were in your benefit for the most part, but were pretty huge, right?
You mean Magnus, Christian, Sam?
Yeah, those behind, right? Yeah, you had a lot of great runners that just in the battle. If you talk to the guys that were 6th through 10th place, they're like, "That's the hardest race I've ever done in my life." And I think it's because of what you're saying, that staccato on the bike ride where it's just up and down and up and down.
And this is also another, like, this is why I have huge respect for guys like Cam Worth or Leon Chevalier. They did amazing races, so far back in the swim, steady pacing, and then just barely missing out on the podium with a great run. I remember when Leon was moving into second place, my team told me for the first time the whole day that someone is catching up, and it made me kind of it wasn't
Right.
before we were going left into energy lap. There were like there was a segment of 2, 3, 4 kilometers where he was gaining time, and I was like, not good. So, and it's yeah, you have to be in the game all the time in Kona. Everything can happen. You have to be focused until the finish line, and it was a even if I won by quite a margin, it was still a great battle, which I will remember my whole life.
Oh man, yeah. I mean, that was, and I think you said it to a certain extent that we don't have perfect days out there, but it seemed like you were on something close to that. And clearly, yeah, it's to watch it from the inside and see kind of different moments. I had to kind of defend you a little bit because I think people want to look and be like, oh, well, he was sitting in the group. And I'm like, man, I was out there, and that group was that dude. Like, you had a lot of moments where there were big gaps, and you had to make. I'm like, that guy rides a bike and rides it aggressively, and isn't just like sitting on the. Like, I think people want to think you're just sitting on the back, hanging on for your life, right? But that's not how you rode that race.
Yeah, I wish those people could just ride in that group for 20 minutes. Honestly, it's just and also I kind of made this group work. So just look at the town race.
I agree.
I think I was not in the talking pre-race so much. So everyone kind of fairly or focused on Christian, Magnus, Sam, Gustav. I think I was not a clear favorite going into that race, but I know that after that swim, all those guys were asking one name and one name only when they were on the bike, and I took the I took the advantage on the to be out in front that much, and I think we really had a good tactic going into that race and make it hard from the beginning. If we are there, I had the clear instruction, okay, you go in the town race because I'm quite a good bike handler. Through the corners, we don't want to lose any time through the corners, and we absolutely send it up Kuakini and down and going up Palani. Had a clear instruction to just almost do a full sprint, and so I was in second position after Sam, and I talked to a friend of mine, Paul Schuster. He was not able to sit in the group, if you can say that, because he said it was just too hard. It was just not possible. So I mean, people have to complain and people have to talk.
They do.
You cannot take this away from them. But so
No, totally. And I don't mean that, I bring that up in a positive way, because it's like I don't know. It's like, is there a part of you that, does it motivate you? Do you not care, or does it piss you off when people are like, "Oh yeah, he's just a good runner," and when it's in your benefit for people to continue somehow to think?
They cannot. It's crazy. They cannot be serious.
I know. Look at me.
I cannot take someone serious. You are an idiot if you think that. I mean, I've proven it so many times. I won, I don't know how many Ironman races. I came second in the World Championship in Nice.
Totally.
on a totally different bike course on a different continent. So
Yeah.
I don't care.
I love
It's
it.
like it's
I love
just
it.
it's just not. I don't want to waste energy on people like that. To be
That's
honest,
awesome.
yeah.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I love it. And to me, it's great because it it shines. I mean, what was your? I don't have it in front of me right now, but I mean, your bike split in Kona was what 4:06.
4:06.
That's
4:06.
insane. And the run
Fastest
that you
German
had off of
time in
that was
Kona.
no way. That's awesome. That's a
Yeah.
big deal. That's a big deal.
I'm the
That's
German Uber
awesome.
biker now.
I know it's just so funny.
Hey Norman.
It's so funny. Yeah, I know, right?
No,
Not
just
another
joking.
flat tire. It's the I'm gonna get it for that. Um, the it's just funny how we like to write the story and stick
Yeah.
the story to what we want it to be, right? But
Hmm.
I don't think there's any of your competitors that think that, right? That are in their right mind, right? It's all the other people. So it's great to see. And obviously that Kona race to me was fun to be able to watch because I did see you in some spaces where I could see your emotion and like I think probably right before you started getting those splits to Leon, I saw you running on
Hmm.
the Queen K and I think you even gave me a shotgun and were like smiling huge. And then like a few miles later, and it must have been after you were told you were losing time, you were like, yeah, your mood changed a little bit. Looked a little hard.
Yeah, yeah. Energy Lab always takes a little bit
Yeah.
of something out of you. Of course, no. I think the whole race I've been and the days before the race, the moments before the start, I got stung by jellyfish, and nothing could
Right.
really affected my positive mindset. So I was really calm, and um, I just enjoyed being there. I was just grateful to be on the island and racing in arguably one of the strongest fields that have ever been on the start line, because nobody
Mhm.
was sick, nobody was injured. All the guys turned up to the race. Everyone was fit, and I thought, hey, that's a great opportunity to kind of make history here. And
That's awesome.
I think yeah, going there and just totally, I was totally in the zone from the moment where I pumped my tires in in the transition in the morning. And
That's amazing.
so
And
yeah.
yeah, that's so rad. And I think, and I felt it out there, and especially once I think it was probably right before the turn to head up to Havi, I could tell that you were like well in control of your effort. And I was like, oh, this is a day for Patrick. But I think I feel like I noticed it leading up to the race in some short interactions with you, but then definitely during the race. And I hope this doesn't come off in a way that offends you in any way, but it felt like you've always been a very like positive attitude forward person. And this that day felt like the most genuine representation of that. Like maybe in the past you've had to like convince yourself a little bit,
Hmm.
but this time to me it was like, oh man, he's like having a great time. He's here
Hmm.
just like he's loving it. Am I
Hmm.
totally off base in that
No,
perception?
no, yeah, totally right.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's that's pretty accurate. And
That's
I
awesome.
think this is also why. So I agree 100%, and this is why I said this was the perfect day. I, because an Ironman is such a long event, there are always, situations where you are after the race. I could push more here. I could done this differently. That my transition, my nutrition, whatever. But
Yeah.
thinking back of this race, there is not a single moment where I'm like, okay, there, there, this is this. I could do this better, or you know, we are arguing with my coach because he is always like, you could have broke the run course record, and I was like, yeah, maybe, but that's not what it's about, you know. It was good. It was just I was enjoying it.
When I will say, to defend you, I can't find these splits, but I'm pretty sure the fastest run split was not done off of a 406 bike split.
I mean, I got the overall course record, so
yeah, that's what matters.
That must be enough.
That's what matters. That's amazing. Yes. That's awesome. So, a couple things. Actually, since we're on it, what do you think, and I know it's in 2 years, and I want to talk about the announcement where you get to go back and try that again. Do you think that a 2:30 is possible in Kona? Or is it just too hard? And obviously the bike leading into it is a big part of that.
I think in Kona, oh wow. Everything is possible, you know, and I think with time we will see times improve, and I think it will take at least 6 to 8 years if someone breaks the 2:30 marathon. It will take 6 to 8 years to be transferred into Kona, because Kona is such
interesting.
It's just so much harder, and I think it is possible, but I think we have to wait. Really, we have to wait quite some time for it.
Right, and I think obviously part of the big part of that is that course is hard enough that just doing it on that course would be very, very challenging. Obviously,
we have to see some more technical improvements, like nutrition wise. I think that we're not training so mega different to what guys 20 years ago have done. Yeah. But of course we have better nutrition, we have better shoe technique, we have better aerodynamics. With, you know, just with technical improvement, I think it will be possible.
Awesome.
Yeah, but I think we have to wait a little bit.
Kind of what we were saying too. It's also going to be the person that rides a 4-hour bike split, probably, right? Like, it's going to be the person that's winning the race that's going to be going sub 2:30. Maybe it's not sub 4, but a fast bike split.
I don't think if you would get a Eliud Kipchoge on the race, and he just have to do the swim and just no matter the time have to do the bike ride, I don't think he would be able to run 2:30 after that.
Yeah, I agree.
So it's just long, and it's hot, it's humid, and it's just really, really hard. Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay, so on that, I know we just had an announcement recently that we're going back. Everybody's racing on the same day in 2026. How excited are you that the triathlon family is all racing together again in Kona?
It makes me happy. I was one of the biggest critics when the Nice World Championship came up. I think especially for me as a guy who was, you know, kind of drawn into the sport because of the race in Kona, I was really afraid of losing it. And I think it at the beginning it felt like, okay, are we stepping away a little bit from what makes the sport so great? Right. And right now, going back to the one-day event is just great. I'm happy to just for everything. I'm really excited to see the changes in the race that are also promised. But yeah, having the best man and woman race together, again, and it just feels like, Ironman history kind of in motion.
That's awesome. Yeah, it is. I've chatted to a few people about it. It feels like a homecoming,
Mm-hmm.
and it felt like obviously something was missing at the men's and the
Yes.
women's when they were both in Kona. Like it's not all there, right? So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I personally am excited to be able to call that. Now, is there a part of you now that's back that's like, okay, I got one more chance at Nice, and you're like fired up on that opportunity?
Yes, I'm still fired up. Because I think I have unfinished business in Nice.
Right.
I know from analyzing the race what I can do better, and I can't wait to put this thoughts and this strategy into reality. So yeah, and it makes me definitely 1 year longer Kona champ, which is cool.
Dude, I love that. That's great. That's great.
No, I mean
Sweet.
Nice is a
And
great race, and I really loved it. The the atmosphere on the Promenade des Anglais is amazing. The run course I was blown away by it. It's just, look at my time,
yeah, of course.
and it of course a big chunk of this time is due to this incredible spectators, screaming into
Exactly.
my ears, and just you don't have that to this extent in Kona. So Kona is definitely on the run course. It's definitely more lonely.
Yeah, there's some lonely
So
spots out there.
oh yeah, some dark places, but that's what we love, right? Um, so can't wait for that. Yeah, can't wait for the
Yeah.
energy of running up and down the promenade.
So because you said that, I feel like I have to ask, like for you, as far as racing your competitors, just kind of a random question. Do you do you think like a course like that where you're getting like you're getting them, all that spectator support, is that more in your pocket or when you know those your competitors are in the dark space? They have to run through that stuff alone, knowing that Patrick is running after them in Kona. Which one do you think suits you better versus your competitors?
Mm, I think making the athletes in front of me suffer and scare them a little bit is more. I think it's what's more motivating. Maybe
Yeah,
is that a question? Yeah. So
yeah,
um, yeah, definitely. And also thinking back of going out in Kona, of course I put down the throttle a little bit too much, but I was sure that of course also Sam gets time splits from his team, and
sure.
putting the pressure on early, and getting into the mind of them is always a key
Yeah,
aspect, and really motivating. I think but it's both. I need the positive energy in a race to create this race feeling and to get super hyped, because um I'm a I'm a racer, so I'm
yeah,
a I'm not a person who can push in training. So if you would train with me, I think you would not necessarily.
yeah. Good.
I'm I don't want to say I'm average in training. Of course, I have good training
Sure,
results, but
sure.
I think my training results um, are not necessarily what you expect in the races. So I'm as soon as you pin a race number on
Right.
my suit, I change into a different personality. And
Totally. And I was just gonna say that because like you to me are like, and even talking to you now and like seeing your eyes when you're like talking about being in the race, like you are the nicest guy, but also a freaking stone cold killer. Like there's no prisoners.
I take that as a compliment in this context.
Yes, yeah, you should for sure
Yeah.
because like you are a genuine guy and you're encouraging. You don't want to see any athletes have bad luck or injuries or anything like that.
No.
But
Yes.
on race day, you're like, no, it's me, man. Like, I'm gonna go through you to get what I want. That's awesome. That's what it takes, right? That's why you got 3 world championships.
I agree. Yes.
Love it. Well, sweet man. We know you're busy, so appreciate you taking the time. And I know the time to get on a podcast that you want to get on a podcast isn't when you're injured, and we appreciate you coming on and sharing that a bit of a struggle with us as you move forward.
Yeah, we have to do another one when I'm healed up and a little bit more happy, maybe.
After the win at Frankfurt?
After the win in Frankfurt. That's just what went through my mind.
I got you, man. I love it.
Yeah, that would be so great. That's one of a little, like, if you have a puzzle, it's like this one little puzzle piece that just it's not there. Like Frankfurt
you haven't put it there yet?
No.
That sits in your heart, huh? That one?
Uh-huh. Yeah, it does. But I tell you what, it ain't gonna be easy this year.
It's gonna be a good one. It's gonna be a good one.
Yeah, with Magnus and Christian and it's gonna be tough.
Well,
but
when they talk about it being tough, they talk about the fact that you're gonna be there too. So it's all even across that.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So thanks for having me, and talk to you soon. See you soon, hopefully.
Oh man, love seeing Patrick get a little bit fired up. It's great. That guy's definitely again one of the nicest guys out there, encouraging athlete on the course, unless you're in his way for a race win, and then he's cutthroat. I love it and love seeing that energy from him, and hope the best for him in his recovery from his injury. To stay across the latest Ironman and Ironman Pro Series news, follow at Ironman Try on Instagram and check out proseries.ironman.com for standings, athlete bios, episodes of A Fighting Chance, replays of all the races, and more. And of course, must thank our presenting sponsor, Maurten, the official sports performance nutrition partner of the Ironman Global Series. And all Ironman athletes have access to Maurten hydrogels and solids on course in 2025. And thanks so much to them. We couldn't do this podcast without them. And if you enjoyed today's conversation, please like, share, and subscribe wherever you listen to this podcast. And if you're sitting on the trainer, you can also watch the podcast as a video on our Ironman Triathlon YouTube channel. Thanks so much for joining us on the Ironman Insider podcast presented by Maurten. Be sure to keep an eye on this space for more great conversations as the season continues. I'm your host, Matt Lieto, and thank you so much for tuning in.